Welcome to today's grammar lecture on the Paul passive participle. There really is just one point today, so let's get going. I have here the verb katuv. It's a passive participle. It means written. And so when I ask comprehension questions and I say ma katuv, I'm asking what is written. And what's distinctive of the Paul passive participle is this a, u vowel pattern. And as a mnemonic, maybe this will help, maybe not, you can think, ooh, are you being passive? Actually, when I was a student, one of my classmates came up with that, and it helped me, but it's kind of weird. And actually, the vowel is not distinctive because you see here in the other three forms, it's a schwa. What is distinctive is the shurik here, this U-type vowel. And actually, a few weeks ago, when we looked at the pual and hofal, those passive binyanim, they had the U-type vowel at the beginning of the word. Here, in the middle of the word, is distinctive of the Paul passive participle. As participle, there are four forms, so katuv, ketuva, ketuvim, ketuvot. Now, talking about the meaning, first off, it's surprising that you have a Paul passive participle because Paul binyan is supposed to be active, and then nif'al is passive of Paul. So why have a Paul passive participle? Especially since you have nif'al participles. So what's distinct between the Paul passive participle and a nif'al participle? That is the question that we're going to try to answer. But before I answer, let me say how unique this is. Because Paul, that's an active voice binyan, but it has passive participle. This is unique because PL doesn't have a passive participle. If you want passive, you have pual, which has a participle. Similarly, hifil is active. You want a passive participle, you have hofal, which has a participle. Also, Paul passive participle, it's only the participle which can have a passive form. You can't have a Paul passive Qatal or passive Yikdol or any other form. It's only passive participle. Now, in order to see what's unique about the Paul passive participle, we have to compare Paul and nif'al forms of Qatal verbs and participle forms before we get to the Paul passive participle. All right. So the Qatal conjugation describes a past tense perfective aspect action. For instance, let's set the point of reference as present time of me talking. And if I say then, hu katav sefer, he wrote a book, katav as a Qatal form is past tense, so the writing happened sometime in the past, and it's a perfective aspect, meaning the writing of the book is complete. So he wrote a book, and here's the book. I can give it to you because the writing is complete. Similarly, we have the nif'al form, hasefer nichtav. So the book was written. Nichtav as a Qatal form, past tense, the writing happened sometime in the past, and it's complete. The only thing different is that it's passive voice. So the book was written. We don't know who wrote it, just it's important that the book was written. All right, now we can see participles. Participles have relative time, meaning concurrent with the context, and then they describe an in-progress action that is currently happening. All right, so here we go. Hu kotev sefer, he is currently writing a book, or nifal, hasefer nichtav means the book is currently being written. All right, and here is the Paul passive participle. Here's how it works. So it's passive, and in that sense, it's like nifal verbs. It's a participle in that it has relative time, so concurrent with the context, but it's like Qatal forms in that it has perfective aspect. So again, the context is the current time of me speaking, and if I say HaSefer Katuv, that means the book is written. So at this point in time, the book is written. It's finished. Who knows how long ago it was written? The only thing that matters is that currently the book is written and it's complete. I can give it to you. All right, so that is the all passive participle. Let's look at a few examples of passive participles in the book of Jonah. The first two that we'll look at are all participles. The last one is the all passive participle. Number 1, the captain comes up to Jonah and says, Ma lecha nirdam, which is, what to you sleeping? Or what is with you sleeping? And as a Nephal participle, it has relative time, so concurrent with the context, which is present tense, as the captain is speaking, and then it's in progress, meaning that Jonah is currently sleeping, and the captain doesn't like it at all. Number 2, another Nephal participle, Jonah speaking his message to the Ninevites, Od arba'im yom veninve nepachet. So another 40 day and Nineveh will be overturned. I say will be overturned because a participle is concurrent with the context, which here is future, set by 40 days from now, Nineveh will be. And then as a Nephal participle, it's in progress action, meaning if Jonah could transport his listeners 40 days into the future, he's saying that at that time, you will see Nineveh in the process of being overturned. All right, now we have the all passive participle with the a-u vowel pattern. This is Jonah's prayer describing his watery plight. Afafuni maim tehom yesoveveni suf chavush leroshi. So he says, water engulfed me. So this is a Qatal form describing what happened in the past. Water engulfed me. The deep was surrounding me. Reeds were wrapped to my head. So I say reeds were wrapped because as a Paul participle, it is concurrent with the context, which is past tense here, so were wrapped. And then as a Paul passive participle, it describes a perfective aspect, meaning the wrapping action is complete. So if you could see Jonah at this point in time, you'll see that reeds were wrapped around his head. The wrapping is complete. His head is covered with the reeds. So that's the point today. All passive participle has that U-type vowel in the middle of the word, which is unique, being passive. And all passive participle, it has relative time like other participles, but it uniquely has perfective aspect like Qatal forms. You put that together and it's the all passive participle.